It's a scene and a move that had hundreds of people cheering and in high spirits today. But many people have mixed emotions about the rekindled relationship with the communist country. On this historic day, I spoke with local Cuban Andres Quintana, who fled Cuba. Today, he's celebrating. He's also reflecting on the day he boarded the makeshift boat in hopes of finding freedom.
The lights just got further away.
The year 1980.
It was kind of scary because it was so dark on the boat.
Andres Quintana fled Cuba with his family. He was 10 years old in an overpacked, cramped fishing boat bound for the Florida Keys.
I do remember at some point not seeing any lights.
His little brothers sick to their stomachs and Andres fearful of those around him. Prior to landfall, their boat was lost in the Gulf of Mexico in the middle of the night. Andres was able to flee to America under an agreement made between Fidel Castro and President Jimmy Carter.
My grandfather was part of the government, the previous government, and he could prove it, so he was the whole family was allowed to let go.
At that point, they couldn't leave their home, no work and no school.
It no longer was okay to be part of the society there.
You were blacklisted because you were trying to leave Cuba.
I would probably call it that.
Government officials told them when it was time to leave. They waited a couple of days at the Bay of Mariel, then boarded the rickety boat.
16 hours later, I'm staring at the American flag.
35 years later, reminiscing on the moment he saw that symbol of freedom, Andres still gleams, making that moment come to life in our minds. And today, Andres was able to see the American flag fly freely in his homeland. He says it's a step in the right direction.
The people want to be free thinkers and, have freedom.
He has not been back to Cuba since watching that small light disappear in the distance. However, he's optimistic soon he'll walk the streets of his youth in Havana. And Andres says his hope is his fellow Cubans in Cuba will one day soon experience the same freedom he has. However, he understands why some oppose renewed relations. Many Cubans had their livelihoods taken away from them by the government, and it's common for a lot of the older generation to denounce Cuba.